Okay, guys, I think we are good to go. We are
Yes.
good to go.
Yes.
It's already has crossed 100. It's currently 114. And I think we should start without any further delay.
So guys, can you just confirm once in the chat box? Am I clearly audible and visible? Okay, yes. Okay, so we will start. So firstly, everyone present here, hello. And a very hearty welcome to all of you. I am Ahuna Mukherjee. And I have with me Shobham.
Hello guys, myself Shobham Chingo, and we welcome you to all the very first session of GDSC-IEM for this year. That is the Android Jetpack Compose Camp.
Yes, absolutely. So now before we begin with the session, we would like to give you a brief introduction about what is Compost Camp actually. So I think all of you are familiar with the Android study jams. You have heard its name a lot. So this is very similar to that. Basically, Compost Camps, these are community organized events and it focuses on how to build Android apps using Jetpack Compose.
Right. Now, those who don't know what is Jetpack Compose is, it is a very powerful library which we use extensive as an alternative to the traditional XML layouts in Android. If not only that makes the development of complex UIs easier, but also it makes it faster.
Right. So now if we come back to a session, this is going to be a 6 days long workshop in hybrid mode. That is, few of the sessions will be taken online and few in offline. The complete roadmap of this workshop has already been shared in all our social handles. You can check those out. Also, those of you who are in our WhatsApp groups, you have seen it already. So this is to bring the like-minded people like you together. Right, Shoma?
Yes. So we aim to bring the like-minded people like you all together to give you a hands-on experience with learning Compose skills specifically for Android. Hope you all have a session filled with fun and knowledge. Now, without any further ado, we would like to welcome our speakers for the today. We have with us Rohit Kumar, the App Dev Co-Lead of GDSC-IEM, and Dia Hajra, our App Dev Core Team member of GDSC-IEM.
Also, we have with us Shagil Islam. He's the App Dev Lead of GDSC-IEM. He will be our facilitator for the workshop. Now, Shagil, over to you.
So thank you, Anna, for the welcoming thing. So guys, apart from Ahana, I welcome all of you to this Android Jetpack Compose, and we are going, and hopefully we are going to have a complete blast of a session. So can I see some energy in the chat box? Like, are you people excited?
Show us the excitement, please, in the chat box. Are you with us?
Okay, fine.
All of you are looking very excited today. Let's continue with the event.
Okay, guys. So before starting, let me ask all of you, how many of you have previous Android experience? Like even in Android experience, as well as people from the Flutter background, and also people who are like very new to Android, and it is their first kind of session in Android. Okay, Ritik. Fine, Shubranil. Okay, fine. Okay, so yeah, great. Yeah, sure, Swastika. Fine, Kritika. We are all very excited. And without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, we will start by discussing what exactly is Android, and then we will first do the traditional stuff. I know I won't take much of your time. It'll be very brief. First, we will discuss the traditional thing, that how apps were used to be made and how apps are made in the industry right now, that is using XML layouts. Okay? Jetpack Compose is the latest trend. It is the hot topic now. But before starting Jetpack Compose, I think if people know how apps are made in XML, they will get a better understanding of how apps will be made in Jetpack Compose. Okay, so the first step is the recommended IDE that we'll be using in throughout the course will be Android Studio. However, if you are using any other IDE for people who are already experienced in Android, that's I'm telling this. If you are already comfortable or familiar with any other IDE, you are free to follow that. But for the newcomers, it is recommended that you people download Android Studio. It's not required in this session. In this session, if you already have Android Studio, you can code along with me. If you don't have, no issue at all. Just follow what I'm telling. Okay. So what is Android?
Shagil, I'd like to
Yeah.
interrupt you once. We have a question in the chat box. Can you please brief about the things that our participants are going to learn from this workshop?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we are going to start from what is this Android framework, how apps are developed using this Android framework. These are the first thing. Then we will start dig into what is an XML layout, how Android UIs are created using XML layout, and then very quickly we will shift to this Jetpack Compose, where we will learn in this first session, day one, we will learn the basics of Jetpack Compose, its benefit over the traditional XM. That will be for day one, and then in the consecutive days, we will learn to build our project application, and I will keep the project application behind the curtains for the time being, so that you people and the final project will be showed to you on the second day, that is on the 24th. Okay, today we are just going to do the normal setup of our IDE and what is an XML layout and stuff like that. Prerequisites of this workshop is if you have knowledge of any programming language, what are variables, what are functions, what are classes, then it will be helpful for you. Apart from that, there isn't any such prerequisite that's required. I hope that I'm clear, Ritik Raj.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. So, and on the subsequent days, like day 2, day 3, we'll dig into the architectures of building. How, if you get an internship somewhere, then what is the pattern in which apps are made in the industry? So we'll go into the architecture. It will be a very detailed and a very basic one. So don't worry, I won't overwhelm you since it's your many of your first session. So let's quickly switch over to the Android Studio IDE and get started. So let me fire up my Android Studio here. Okay, so this is the first screen that you will see when you launch your Android Studio IDE. Android Studio is the default IDE and the recommended IDE recommended for Android development by Google. And this is the first screen that you get when you open Android Studio. Here you have the options of creating a new Flutter project, a new project, and opening any previous project that you have made. Okay, so we will go on and create a new project. So click on the new project and proceed further. Is my screen clearly visible to everyone?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Okay, so now you can see here, there are a lot of templates that are already pre-built for you. As you can see, there is a basic activity, a basic material 3 activity, and a lot more things which you can use once you know how to build your applications, right? But right now, what we will do is we will select a empty activity, mind you, an empty activity, and click on next. Okay, now you're guided to this screen where you have to give your project a name. Okay, so let's give, since it is your first project, so let's give it the name my first Android app. Fine. You can give it any name you wish to. So let's give this my first Android app. And here there is a package name. Now this is the name in, actually this will create a folder. We'll see later on how. Here you can give anything you want to. Okay. But the standard method is by starting a com dot your company name. If you have any company, let's right now give it GDSC dot and your application name, which is my first Android app. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can write it in the chat box. I'm actively monitoring it. Okay, fine. So this is how you create, give it a name, create your package. And now the location where you actually want to save it. So it depends on your system where you actually want to save it. I'll keep it in my dx, since I'm using Windows. I'll just keep it over here. You can keep it anywhere you want, right? So let's close it for the time being. And now the language. You have two ways of building Android app. First is using Java, and the second one is using Kotlin. Throughout the course, we'll be using Kotlin because Kotlin is the official language of Android development, and that's was announced by Google. And in industries, you'll find that people like major applications are made using Kotlin. So we'll be using Kotlin. Is that okay? So select Kotlin now. Now this one might be an interesting thing. The minimum SDK. Now what's an SDK? Anything in the comment section?
No, Shagil, you can continue.
Okay. Okay, fine. So any idea what is an SDK? Anyone?
Version of Android.
Okay, Rudraja, software development kit. Fine. Okay, good. So what is a software development kit is actually a set of tools that is required by developers that makes the job of developers quite easy. Okay? It's a set of tools, a set of pre-written classes, libraries, packages, and blah, 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 and a lot of things, which makes the job of software engineers quite easy in developing applications, which wasn't this easy previously. Okay, fine. So we'll keep it till API level 21. And it says that approximately 98.8% of all the Android devices can run this app. You know? Now just see one more thing. If we convert it to, let's say, the minimum SDK to API level 20A, it says that only 77.3% of the devices can run this application. So I hope you're getting it, that the more recent minimum SDK version you choose, the lesser number of apps you target. Fine. So we'll keep it to the default Android Lollipop and continue. Click on finish. And as we click on finish, the creation of the project will start. As you can see, okay, so it says the scanning files to index, loading, and stuff like that. So it'll take some time, like for a minute or two, to set up the application so that any developer can use it. Meanwhile, any of you have any questions till now, can ask in the chat box.
Guys, you can unmute and ask your questions as well. All of you can unmute. We have
Yes,
given
guys,
the
feel
permission.
free to ask the questions.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate while asking.
Yeah, one more thing. Internet should be connected while you open the Android Studio, because the Gradle sync takes the internet.
Okay, yeah, that's another useful point. Thank you, Rohit. So any questions from the participants end? Are you people understanding the thing till here? How it's working? Can I have some response in the chat box?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, fine.
Shagil, we have a question.
Yeah.
They're
Okay, yeah,
asking
Kritika.
that can they keep up with the project using Flutter, or they have to learn Kotlin for this?
Sorry, you can't do this in Jetpack Compose is not a library that can be used in Flutter. You have to stick with Kotlin. But since you have a Flutter knowledge, Shorjomoy, I would tell you that you're going to like this one, Jetpack Compose. It's because it's very much similar to the container pattern in Flutter, how you create UIs for your application. So if you already know Flutter and through this Jetpack Compose, you can get a head start in Android development, then you can create applications for both iOS as well as Android devices, and that'll be good to go. Any other question? Kritika Singh has a question. It will only work in PC, isn't it? Yes, it will only work in PC, and there are some minimum requirements for your PC. There should be a minimum of 8 GB RAM required. I mean, you can run it in 4 GB, but it will take a lot of time to do the stuff. So 8 GB RAM and anything a quad core processor of any company will do. At least these two specifications you have to have in your system in order to build Android applications.
Okay, can
Fine.
they
Any more questions?
Can they use Java too for making the same project? Many of them have
yes, you can use Java for making this project, but since in industry, people like applications that were made using Java are now getting migrated to Kotlin. So suppose you join a company as an intern or as a full-time Android developer, then you might have to learn Kotlin there. And so why not learn it now? Everything is now getting migrated to Kotlin. Okay.
Yeah, one more thing, Bhaiya. Actually, we can create the project in Java also, but we need to use the XML. For Jetpack Compose, we need to switch to Kotlin. That's the basic difference. For using the Jetpack Compose library, we have to use the Kotlin.
Yeah, it's more easier, more like preferable if you use Kotlin. And Kotlin is actually much modern and a much easier way to write than Java. You will see that compared to Java, Kotlin has much shorter code style. Fine. So that's it with the question. I hope that everybody's doubts are getting cleared.
One more, Shagil. Yes, that Shubhranil is asking that do we need to install the Android virtual device package while installation as well?
Yes, Android virtual device package as well. You have to.
And also they have to
I'll leave it to you.
Kotlin
sorry?
from basic level, right?
Yeah, we are going to start Kotlin from the basics.
Okay.
Fine. It will be from the basics, from the variable level. I'll start.
Okay,
before that, that virtual device, you can do two things. Either you can use the virtual device to simulate your apps and see how it is running, or you can do what is you can use your mobile phone to see your created applications being rendered. Isn't that interesting? So you can do two things. I'll show both the things. First, let's get started. So now, here as you can see on your left side of the screen, you have a few options like project packages, project files, project source files, scratches and consoles, and something called the Android. Is it visible to all?
Yes, Shagil, it is.
Okay, fine. So what are all these things? First, let's discuss about what is this project view. So the project view is the same view that you will get when you open your application project files from your file manager, right? Let me show you. The name of our application is My First Android App. So what Android Studio does is it creates a folder, like I stored it in D:, and under Android projects, fine. And our application must be somewhere here. My first, yeah, there is it. My First Android App. So can everybody see this one, this folder? My First Android App?
Yes, it's visible. It's visible.
Yes. So let's open it and see what kind of files we have. We have a .gradle file that is generated. We didn't do anything. This is the magic of the SDK, that it does all these things for us. There is a .idea file. There is a app file, which is the most important. There is a Gradle file and other dependencies and settings as per requirement. So if we want to see that thing from our Android Studio IDE itself, we switch over to the project views. These are basically views of our project files, different views of our project files. So first we switch to the project view. And if we open this thing, now I want you people to compare. Are these files and the order in which they are there similar to that present here?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so it is the same. So that's how we do. Now, for there is another view that is mostly used is the Android view. Now, why is it used? Because it only picks out those files which are required by us while coding the application. Fine. So we will discuss about the Android view and then move on to the project or project views. Yeah, the other views are quite advanced, so we are not going to discuss that. But if you have any doubts and want to know it, then you're free to Google it yourself, or maybe after the session we can discuss. So let's switch over to the Android view. So you will have 3 folders. The first is your manifest folder. The second is your Java folder. Now many of you must be wondering that we have created the application using Kotlin. Then why is the name of the folder Java? Okay. Is this question like popping up in your minds? Any responses?
Yes, sir.
So just
Yes,
stay
sir.
there till the end. Fine. That's why it's like Java. We are doing it in Kotlin anyway. Fine. So you can see there are 3 folders, and just note the package name. Is it the same that we had created? com.gdsc.myfirstandroidapp?
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. So this is the same. So there are actually 3. One is for Android test, another is for test. These are used for unit testing your application. Now, what is unit testing? We'll discuss it. Basically, whenever you create a software, you have to test it before you deploy it. And these are the methods of testing it. Fine. So now let's switch over to this view. So here we have one file, and as you can see, this is a Kotlin file, MainActivity.kt. This one. If we open this file, it's already open in front of you. So this file is your main.kt. Okay? It says main activity and it extends app compat activity. Means this is the pattern. You don't have, if you don't understand it, it won't be required, because without this also you can create applications. So don't get overwhelmed by what are all these things, but we'll discuss it. This is actually an implementation that this class is inheriting from this class. Fine. This is a Kotlin class. I hope you know what is a class. So basically a class is a blueprint that we have been learning. People who have, this is why I was telling that only any one programming language is essential. Then only it will be much better for you. Even if you don't know, for those of you who don't know what is a class is basically a blueprint. For example, student is a class, and inside it there is a method, a function, right? An fun function. Function are the activities that the student can do. Creating memes, bunking classes. These are all the activities that a student can do, and also studying. And there are also attributes to a students like roll number, age, courses enrolled in, class, stuff like that. So class is a blueprint which brings together all the properties of a particular entity, real world entity. So this is a class, and this class is named main activity. We'll discuss it in a while. Now we come to the third folder, the third important folder, which is the res folder, the resources folder. Here you will see there are 5 folders. It can be more than 5. One is a drawable folder, one is a layout folder, another is a map folder, a values folder. Here you have a themes, and this one, the XML folder. Fine. So right now, we will just discuss about what is a drawable folder, what actually you can keep in the drawable folder, and what is a layout folder. Fine. Okay, only oops have classes, but we are not much acquainted with them. Not an issue, not an issue. Okay, Vidhi Mantri, you don't have an XML folder. I think maybe in some Gradle builds, they don't provide you with an XML folder, maybe. But don't worry, the other folders are same, the drawable, the layout, and others.
Shagil, can you please differentiate between Python and Android Studio? One of our friend is asking.
Okay, Abhishanka, see, Python is a programming language, isn't a programming language like any other programming language if you have knowledge. Let's say the programming language Java or a C++. These are programming languages, higher level programming language in which we can code, and that code can be executed. Now, Android Studio is an IDE. So, Abhishankar, tell me, have you heard about this thing called VS Code before?
Actually, no, I haven't heard it.
Okay, then like you don't have any programming experience, right?
Yeah, actually, I don't have. Yeah.
Okay, fine, not an issue. So, what is a VS Code actually? It's basically a platform in which you code. Suppose you want to write a letter. Then in your computer, what can you open? An MS Word or a notepad, right? Preferably we use MS Word to type a letter because there are already templates available in it. So we can just write a letter, get a printout of it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so an Android Studio or VS Code is also something like that. They are not built for writing letters. They are built for you to create applications, to write programs, and to execute. Now, another comparison, if you write a letter in Notepad and the same letter you write in MS Word, which one will be faster and which one will be more creative, more beautiful looking? Tell me. Will it be MS Word or Notepad? You can write in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. Okay, Srijan says Word, everybody's selling Word. And why is that so? MS Word, fine.
Notepad doesn't have that much editing options. Means
Exactly.
basic.
Notepad doesn't offer you some free features like such as auto completion, such as coloring your text, giving it a style, designing your page, isn't it? And MS Word already comes pre-built with all those things. That's the work of an IDE. You are writing a code. You can write that code in Notepad also. But suppose if you forget anything, then when will you come to know that yes, you have forgotten a brace or something, a space or a semicolon? When you will actually run the program and it will throw an error. But in IDE, as you code, it just tells you that yeah, you have a problem in this particular line, in this particular character, so you can correct it. It also gives you suggestion, like you don't remember the functions, what's the name of the functions, so IDE will prompt you that okay, maybe you're trying to type this function, this is the format of this function. In Android Studio, you will see how this thing will work. Okay, so now let's discuss about the Android. I think that's clear.
Speak up, guys. You can unmute yourself and give your feedbacks.
Okay, Abhishankar, fine. So let's move on to the next thing that we have planned is discussing about each of these things. What are these things in Android? Now, this file called the Android manifest file. Now, what is its equivalent called in Flutter for those who have a knowledge of Flutter? Not for the new ones, for those who have a knowledge of Flutter, what is the equivalent file of this in Flutter? AndroidManifests.xml file, I think few of you were telling that they are from the Flutter background. Can I see them in the chat box, or can they unmute themselves? Yeah. There is an XML file too, okay? There is something like a YAML kind of a file or something, right? What's the full name, Shorjomai, of that thing? Config dot something something. Yeah, pubspec.yaml. Okay. So you must be like, you could relate it. As I'm telling, you could relate this. So before going into this Android manifest file, I'll discuss what are the four building blocks, the four components of an Android. You can note it down anywhere you like to. The first is your activity. Second is your content receivers. Okay. Then broadcasters and your fragments. Just hold on a second. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So what are the four components of an Android app? First is the activity. Second are services. I forgot to mention that, services. The third are content providers, and the fourth is broadcast receivers.
Sorry to interrupt, Shagil. Yes, Tanmir, you will be getting a recording of this session as it ends. Don't worry.
Yeah, all of you will get a recording of the session on YouTube, so you can like
Continue,
do
sir.
it. Okay, so there are four basic components of an Android app. What are activities? The screens which you see while you are using any application. For example, the Gmail app. So when you open it, the screen that you see, that is called an activity of an application. Fine. Now, suppose you receive a Gmail, an email, sorry. So if you receive an email from someone, then you get a notification, isn't it? So has anyone, one of you wondered how that thing works?
Please unmute Vishwajit Adhikari.
Vishwajit, can you mute
Can you
yourself?
please mute yourself?
Thank you.
I am
Yes,
extremely
thank you.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
It's
no,
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so yeah, my question to the audience is that whenever you open Gmail and you have a mail coming from someone, Gmail gives you a notification even when even when you have not opened the Gmail app. Has it happened with any one of you? I'm sure it must have happened. Okay, yes,
Can you
Deepayan.
please repeat the question?
The question is, suppose you're not opening your Gmail application, you just open your internet connection, connected your device to your internet, then you receive a notification, right? That so and
Yes,
so
yes.
person has it, isn't it?
Yes, I
So
got the
has
mail from GSDC from today only.
Yeah, exactly. So has any one of you wondered how that thing works? The application is not even like running. How that thing is working? Fine. That is done through services. Services are the components of our applications which run in the background, and they continue their execution as long as your mobile phone is switched on. Right. So whenever a means the concept of notification is a little complicated, you have to create channels. So if we get time, we'll kind of discuss and try to implement. If everything is okay, we'll try to implement a notification in our application. Fine. Is that interesting? So as I was telling, service. So that's done through services. Next is your content providers. What are content providers? We'll discuss it. And the broadcast receives. Suppose you broadcast something, your app receives. Okay. Fine. Now let's discuss that thing in AndroidManifests.xml. In AndroidManifests.xml, this is the place. This is the place where you list down all your activities, all your services.
Trishadas, can you mute yourself, please? Hello, Trishadas, can you hear me?
Just hold on a minute.
Yeah, I muted. Shagil,
Fine.
continue.
So as I was telling, in Android manifest.xml file is that file where you write state which are all the activities that you are using in your application, what are all the services that you have, isn't it? What are the broadcast receivers that you want to use, what are the content providers and everything. Okay. But right now, since we have only one activity that will interact with the user, so we have this activity thing. Yeah. Fine. So the name of that activity is .MainActivity. Then we have an intent filter. Don't worry about that. Just focus on this one. Now, what is the category of this activity? This is the launcher activity. Can anyone of you guess what will this activity do? Why is it a launcher activity?
Required to launch the app.
Yes.
Required to launch the app. Okay, close. Anyone else apart from Shubhrani?
Open the app.
To open the app. Yeah, somewhere near. It will launch the app. Okay, so let me tell you. This is the first activity that will be displayed to the user when the app launches. So many of you are very close to it. Okay. Now, if you don't specify that this is the launcher activity, then how will Android Studio know that, okay, I have to start the application from this particular activity? It will not know. Then your app will crash. Okay. So this is the thing. This is the high level view of how the application, what are the different components of this thing. Now let's get our hands to coding.
Means suppose we are making an app, first the name of the creator company comes, so that will be in the launcher application. This launcher
Yes,
file.
yes, that is called a splash screen. We will discuss about that. That is a splash screen, which will display the name of like whatever company's app you are launching and stuff. Okay, fine. So here is it. Now let's get back. Suppose this is our now we.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So now this
sure.
one is somebody's mic open. Is this one?
So I will go for web design, web development.
Dina, can you please mute
Dina,
yourself?
please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. Continue, Shagil.
Okay, fine. So now we know that this is the activity which will be shown when we launch our app. This is the first activity which will be shown when we launch the app. So suppose we want to show anything in our application, then we have to write the logic here. Right now we are not writing any logic. Just let's run this application in the emulator. Fine. Let's run this application in our emulator. Just a moment. So yeah, this is what happens. Suppose you have a 4 GB RAM, then maybe it will take 5 to 10 minutes for you to start up the emulator only. And sometimes it's a little quicker. Since I don't use emulator, I use my mobile phone for debugging my applications. So that's why maybe it's taking a little time, but don't worry. Till then, I can answer all of your questions still. Any question that you have.
You just now told that you debug your application in the mobile. How do you do that?
So for that, what you have to do is, first what you have to do is enable the developer options in your, and you have to have a Android mobile first of all. Then you have to enable the developer options, and then select USB debug.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Shagil,
And
can
then-
you please tell us the future prospects in app development?
Yeah, first of all, since I am into blockchain development, so let's do. How many of you heard the name of blockchain?
Who hasn't now?
NFT, crypto, everyone, the technology
Yes.
behind all these things is blockchain, right? So you know how blooming this industry is. What are the future prospects of this industry? You know. Okay, that's very good, Love Sharma. Decentralization, yep. So basically, in this industry, currently, there is a huge demand for mobile decentralized applications. And what is the pay scale of a blockchain developer? Any guesses in India? Let me show it to you.
$15 to $20 LPA.
15 to 20 LPA for a blockchain developer. No, I think it's much more than that. Okay, so it starts anyway from 2.4 lakhs and goes to 20.9 lakhs. That's in India. But in abroad, it crosses the figure of 50 lakhs, 50 to 60 lakhs. A blockchain developer can earn in 1 year. Even if you're not working for a company. Yeah, no. Even if you're not, I think LPA is a different thing. This is not the in-hand salary, but in blockchain development, you might get in-hand salary of 50 lakh per annum, even if you're not working for any company. Even if you're contributing to open source. Okay. So Android apps are in high demand in the blockchain industry. Secondly, you can see the current scenario. We have everything like people are not using websites a lot. Everyone is using Android application. So if and many of the people know web development, but only a handful of the people knows app development. So if a company comes for hiring and there are 10 web developers and one app developer and only one position is empty, then what will happen? And all of their skill sets are more or less same, then the app developer will get a preference. Fine. So these are the things, the benefits, the future prospects of app development. App development is the future because everything is shifting to the small screen. The nanotechnology is like ruling over all of us. So yeah, that's it.
I had a question.
So is that clear? Is my answer clear and satisfactory for the audience?
Shagil, one of our friend is having a question. Please unmute yourself and ask the question.
You can unmute yourself.
Actually, when I ran the app, it's showing no emulators are currently running. To launch an emulator, use the device manager or run your app while targeting virtual device.
So you have to run the device manager and you have to install any device.
How do I do that?
Yeah, sure. I'll show you how to do that. So right now here you can see there is an option for device manager. Fine. So if I click on it, it will open a menu, like a kind of a dialog for me, a new screen for me. There is it. And you can see I already have Pixel XL. This is the device that is already installed in my system. Okay. Now I don't want to use this device. I want to use any other device. So what I'll do, I'll create device. I'll click on create device.
I have already
and
two
here
devices. So
you have already what?
Two devices made. I don't know how it's already there.
It's already there. So fine, then just click on this button, the play button over here, and run your emulator.
It's still showing the same thing. The emulator process for the thing has terminated.
But it shows that no emulator found.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes it happens. No need to worry. Just continue with me then.
Okay, sure.
Maybe afterwards, I'll share a link and maybe we can discuss about it. So this is our application that is being run in our emulator. Can everybody see it? Your first application without writing a single line of code.
So one second, Shagil. One of our friend is having a doubt that if we create an app in the Android Studio and upload it in the Google Play Store, what are the monetization options? Like we show some ads in other apps also, no? So what are the monetization options there? Can you please
Actually,
explain
there
this?
is a library called the AdMob. You can use that to display ads, and based on the the deal you had with the ad player, means the company who wants to show ad in your applications, you will kind of receive money, some token of it. So that's the way you can earn from your Android application after uploading it in Play Store.
Shagil, one of our friends wants the complete roadmap for app development. So is it possible?
The complete roadmap for app development. So the first step is this one. If you're able to follow this one, this Compose Camp, by the end of this camp, you will be able to build applications, okay, on your own. I can assure that. But definitely, if you want to learn more, there are two things you can refer. First is the official Android documentation, which I'll be opening in from the next day, and any YouTube playlist that you can get, any Kotlin playlist of any person, and you know how to separate. Yeah, we can have roadmaps in some other sessions, but right now just follow this one blindly, and definitely you'll be able to create applications. And I'll teach you those concepts which are used in the industry, right? Fine. So as I was telling, without writing a single line of code, we have this application open in front of us. Let's close this and see where actually this one is installed. Fine. So here you can see my first application. If I click on it, it launches my first Android app. This is called the title bar. We have a hello world written here, and we have buttons. Fine. Suppose if we want to, if we want to change something from this layer, what should we do? Let's minimize this for the time being. And how this layout is getting displayed, now I want to discuss about that. Can everybody see the screen of mine?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you see there is a text, some kind of thing over there?
Yeah.
And a hello world is written inside of it.
Yes.
Fine. So
it reminds Android, of the Spring system.
What?
It reminds of us of the JE days and the Spring block systems.
Okay, yeah, the constraint systems, the Spring block system. Fine. I think many of the people won't like that reference. Fine. Yeah, so here is it. A hello world is there, and you see some kind of a Spring that is attached to the other ends of the screen. Henna. So let's do one thing before telling you what this exactly is. Just hold on a second. Yeah, so let's come back. So here we have something. And if we click on split terminal, you will see there is some code written here. Fine. And the output of that code is getting displayed over here. And the output is, as you can see, is hello world. Suppose if I want to change the name of Hello World to, let's say, GDSC Compose Camp. Fine. And if we run this application, what do you expect to see? What changes do you expect to see in this application?
The hello world changes to the
Yeah,
GDSC.
the hello world changes to
GDSC
GDSC Compose Camp. Fine. So you can see the Gradle build has finished. We'll discuss about Gradle build. So it has finished and it will now launch our application. And here we go. GDSC Compose Camp is getting displayed. So now let's discuss. We'll close this XML layout for the time being. So if people who don't have knowledge of XML, they also can start building applications. And trust me, when I started Android development, and when I got my first internship, I did not know how to, I was not very confident in writing codes using the XML. I used to use this feature instead. And what is this feature? First of all, let's delete this thing. Let's delete this. Here it's written that this one is a constraint layout. Okay? This one is a constraint layout. This is a basic container on which we can place views. Now, what are views? Anything in Android that gets displayed is called a view. Fine. Just like the text that was getting displayed, that is a view. Any image that we want to display over here, that is a view. Okay. Any switch, button, everything in XML pattern is a view. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, so am I clearly visible and audible now?
Yes, you are.
Shagil,
Fine.
Prashun is asking that can we copy someone else's app, like the code and the app, basic app, can we copy that?
Yeah, you can copy that, but definitely if you want to learn something, then you will have to create your own applications. Because if it is someone else's identity, for learning purpose, you can copy that and learn how that person has created that application. But if you want to build your applications, you have to do it yourself. Fine. Otherwise, I never encourage anyone to learn any concept of Android, learn anything by heart. Just know how to use that. Fine. And you can take reference from Stack Overflow, from the Android documentation, or from other libraries documentation, like the Jetpack Compose we'll be discussing, that library documentation. Fine. So as I was discussing about views, is the concept of views clear? If somebody asks you, what are views in Android? Can you answer him?
So
can you answer him? What is a view? In the chat box, I want to see some action. Everybody, please participate. Okay, Ali Bashar says no. So, okay. What is it that's not clear, Ali? You can unmute yourself. Yes,
Ali,
very right. Love Sharma, anything visible on the screen? Yes.
No, I'm asking Ali to unmute.
Yes, things which can be visible on the display. I think people are getting it. Anything that you see on the screen, that is a view in Android. In the XML thing, basically, because after that, we'll be calling those views by a different name in Jetpack Compose. Okay, yeah, now I think he gets it. Anything that's visible on your screen, that's a view. So now we will use this thing which I used to do before I got my first internship. Suppose we want to display our name and our, let's say, hobby over here. So what we will do, you can see in the palette section, there is something called the text view. we will just click on it, drag it and drop it over here. Was it visible? Was the thing visible? I'll do it once more. I'll take another text view, drag it and drop it inside of our container. Okay.
Oh, this is good.
This one is good, isn't it? And then there are 4 button kinds of a thing from where that spring block thing of yours will come out. So what we will do, where we want to align this view, like where we want to keep it. Right now, this view does not have any position, and you can see this in the warnings. Android Studio is very helpful in it. It will give you every kind of warning you want. So here it says that the view is not constrained. The same word is used. The view is not constrained. What will be the offshoot of that? Suppose if we run our application, then that view will just float anywhere in the screen. Okay, so first we will have to constrain it. So let's say we want to keep it in the middle. So I will take this one, drag and attach it to the end. Then I will take it from here, drag and attach it till the end. It's now in the middle. And we will take this and attach it to the top and take this one and attach it to the bottom. And we want this to be a little above the other text view. So I'll just drag it simply from my hand a little upwards. Was that difficult?
Not at all.
Not at all. You'll see many things are not that difficult. And I'll do the same thing with the second view. Fine. And this time I'll constrain this view to the bottom of the first view. And this one will be constrained downwards. I think I should put it a little upwards. Yeah. Now, this view, what do we want to display? We want to display our name. Fine. So what we will do, here there is an option of text. So here we will display our name. So everybody, just if you are typing along with me, you can just type your name. So we write Shagil Islam. But the, the text is very small. Had it been a bit bigger, I think that would have been better, right?
Yes.
I think that would have been better. So we have this declared attribute. There is a plus button. You can click on it and write here text. And you can see the IDE already gives us many options. Henna? So suppose we want to create the text size. So there is a text size. We click on it and this text size appears. And now here we have to give the size of the font that we want. Let's say I want a little bigger one. So I'll give it 20 SP. Now, what is an SP? SP is a measure in pixel. Fine. SP is a measure in pixel of whatever you are doing. So I'll give it 20 SP. Click enter and now see. Now see just. Has it become bigger than the other view? Is everybody in the chat along with, like everybody in the camp along with me? Is everybody here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah, great. Are you enjoying this camp
Yes,
till
sir.
now?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
great.
Bhaiya.
Yeah, you can call me Bhaiya,
Yeah,
not
yes.
sir. I'm basically a year senior to you.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Great. So let's continue with it. Now, suppose we want to make our name in bold because we are very proud of ourselves. Click on text style. Fine. And we can click on this drop down and select whether we want to keep it normal, whether we want to make it bold or italics. So first we will make this view bold and now see the change. Did you see the change? Okay. And in the second one, I want to display my hobby. So I'll write and increase the size of the view a little. This time I just click size and it gave me the option that you can, maybe you're looking for text size. So that's how it's so helpful. Give it a size of 16 SP.
What's happening is them they
And then the text style this time.
Dhananjay, can
please
you
mute
please
yourself.
mute yourself?
Okay, thank you. Continue, Shagil.
Yeah, fine. So we will add a text style over here. Fine. It's already normal selected. So, oh, sorry, not this one. We will change it to italics, apply. And you can see this here, but I want to show this to you in our application, the emulator. Here's the emulator, and let's see what happens. We'll be wrapping up pretty soon, maybe in 10 minutes or so. I think, Ahana, can you just create an attendance link for today's session?
Sure, I'll create a form, I'll share it, and everybody can fill up the form and we will get the attendance, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We will discuss two more things. I thought that we could start Jetpack Compose today, but since you people are enjoying XML, we will continue with XML today. And maybe in the next session, we can do Jetpack Compose. Okay, so our app is launched and you can see the changes that I have made to this application. Is it beautiful? Is it looking beautiful?
Absolutely.
And was the thing
Yes,
same
sir.
in your devices? For those of you who are following along? Was it same? Okay,
My
okay,
one
fine.
hasn't even downloaded yet.
Okay, fine. Not an issue. That's why I said. But you're understanding how easy this thing is.
Yes.
Okay? So all this thing is this easy. Now suppose you want to enter something in your text, like some sort of a text you want to enter over. So you can take use of something called another kind of view that is called an edit text. So in the palette, you just go to the search option and search. Here you will see many options, whether you want to keep it a plain text, whether you want to have it as a password. Suppose, has any one of you used an application where you write your password and the letters get replaced by circles, round circles?
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is done
Every
using
login
this
page.
password option. Suppose you have used an application and it does not allow you to write alphabets in your password. That can be done using this password numeric option. Suppose you want to want the user to only write his or her email, not her name in that particular field. Then you can make it an email field. Fine. So we'll first do with the plain text. Okay. And the same thing, as I said, drag, drop, and there you go. The view has come on our screen. We will have to constrain it. Yeah, in the first session, it will be drag and drop. But I'll show you from the XML how it is done. And this one, constrain it to a little bottom. I think we should just put it a little upwards. And we'll add one functionality to it. So for that, I'll quickly take a button from here, drag and drop it over here, attach it to the side. Okay, constrain it on all four sides. I think the button at this height will be fine. And we take another text view. Fine. Constrain it over here. And here I'll explain you many things. So just hold on. Fine. This text view. So you can see that all the text views and all the views have a unique ID that Android Studio is assigning. Like this text view has an ID called text view. This one has an ID called text view 2. This edit text has an ID called the edit text person name. This text view has an ID text view 3. Let's change this ID. Let's change this ID to, let's say we want to enter the name of our crush. So let's keep it crush name text view. Fine, but not like this, not like this. Crush name text view. Fine, just click on refactor and don't worry about anything. And we will change the name of this one to crush name edit text. Just refactor in the project. So can you people see it? Right? Now from this part, we will go to our main activity file and then do the fun. Let's drop it here in a new window. Oh, sorry. Like this. Close it. Main activity and split it right. You want to split it right? Yep, that's what I want to do. So split it right. Close this one and just keep the view in front of us. Fine. Minimize it and keep the view in front of us. So here, what I want to do is when the user enters his or her crush's name in the edit text and clicks on this button, fine, then he should see that name in this text view and programmatically. Is that interesting? Yeah, in the chat box, how many of you want to see your crush's name in the application that you're creating? Can I see the response in the chat box? Fine, fine. Okay, is everyone interested to do this thing? Not the crush name, just to learn this concept. I know some of you are good boys and girls. Okay, fine. So let's do it. So what we need, listen to this concept carefully. Whatever the users enter in this text view, we will take that thing from our application, from that text view. And when the user clicks this button, we will transfer that writing from the text view, from the edit text to the text view. I repeat, when the user enters his or her any details in the text view, in that edit text, we will capture or kind of extract that name, the string from that edit text and display it in this text view. Fine. So for that, we have to create variables. Fine. How do we do that? So first is val crush name edit text, and it is of type edit text. Fine. Okay, not like this. We can't do it like this. Let's not do this way. Rather, let's do this way. Inside of our onCreate function. Okay, first of all, what is this override function on? OnCreate is the first function. Mind it. OnCreate is the first function that will be executed when this activity is on your screen, when this activity is created. Is that clear? OnCreate is so whatever you write inside of OnCreate will be the first thing that will be executed when this activity is created. Fine. So if we suppose we write val crush name edit text and do find view by ID edit, I'll explain it to you, just stay with me. Edit text and the app ID will be r.id. And can you see the crush name edit text has somehow creeped from our layout file inside of our main activity file? Can everybody see that? Response, guys. We'll wrap it soon. We'll wrap it soon. I know.
Shagil, can you please explain what is crash?
Yeah, crash is basically when you have want to do something in your application and the app closes abruptly. Has it ever happened to you? Like you want to do something and the app abruptly closes all of a sudden and you don't know what you did. So that is a crash because some error has happened inside of the application which is not handled. Fine, I'll show you a crash. What is a crash over here? First, let's interact and tell me if this thing is clear. We have an edit text over here in the activity main.xml, and that the name of that, the ID of that edit text, we can see it over here, crush name edit text view. Is that clear, Vidhi?
Yeah, it's done now.
Okay, fine. So what we have done is, see this thing, set content view. Here this is a function, pre-built function. We don't have to do anything. This function actually attaches this XML layout, with our main activity, this activity that we're talking about. So any view that we have defined in the main activity will be accessible from here. Now is this thing clear? Fine. Okay. So we need this thing. Another thing that we are going to need is so what did we do? First of all, we took the crush name edit text from the XML layout and converted to a variable, an object over here. Then we did the same with the text view. Now what we can do, we can handle those things, whatever event happens to them, we can handle those things from here. We also need one more thing. We need a button. So what we will do, the same thing. Okay, now you people write in the chat box, what should we do? Okay, I'll repeat. This crush name, acha, you can unmute yourself and ask your specific thing. What exactly you want me to repeat? A little faster. Abhishek, Tusharika, Priyansh.
Guys, just unmute and speak. That will be faster, I guess.
Line 15 and 16, what I did. Okay, so what I did was, as I said, there is a view that we have created, this crush name edit text. Now what we are doing is, we are assigning it to a variable inside of our main activity. Then we have another text view that we had in the application. We are assigning it to our variable. Now what we will do, I think I'll just complete this code and then you people can better understand exactly what happened. Then I'll do val submit button. Let's call it submit button and find view by ID, and it will be of type button. Okay. And you can see how easily I'm able to type. I'm just hitting enter and it's getting autocomplete. ID dot button. Fine. So now listen to this. Submit button dot set on click listener and submit button dot set on click listener. Now you must be wondering, what is this actually? What is this set on click listener? Any guesses? Class, no, not a class. Actually, what we are doing is that whenever the user clicks on the submit button, set on click listener, that the Android app will listen to that. When the user clicks on that button, the app will listen to that and react accordingly. And what the app has to react, we will define inside of this code. Okay. So first of all, what we will do is we will set the crush name text view text to crush name edit text dot text dot to string whenever this event happens. Fine. I'll first run this application and let's see if there is a bug and we'll debug it together. So let's run this application in our emulator and see what exactly have I written. This gibberish might for some of you it might seem a little gibberish, I think, and some of you, yeah, listen to the input exactly, Rohit. The code activates when we click on the button. Not the code activates. I mean, yeah, exactly. The code inside of those parentheses which I've written. So see, our application is getting started. Okay, it has, I think, crashed. Has it crashed? Just a second.
It's in the install phase.
Okay, sorry. It says what happened. Yeah, sorry. Now, no, it hasn't crashed actually. So here is it. Oh my God. Can you see this? Can you see this thing? So we have an edit text over here. If when we click on this text, we cannot write anything, but here we can exactly write anything, and something is already written for us called name. Okay, I'll show you how you can change this thing. Now I'll delete it and write my crush's name. So, dear crush. Okay, some of you might be wondering, I'll write the actual name.
Yes.
And when I click on this button, oh, did you see what happened? Chat box activate. Chat box activate. Did you see what happened?
Nothing.
Isn't it? I think I should just make this text view a little bigger so that it's clearly visible. I'll just close this thing for the time being and make this thing a little bigger. So yeah, now there's an opportunity for me to use the XML layout and make it bigger. So what I want to make bigger, this text view. So I'll click on this text view. It will guide me to here. So this is the text view. So I did not write this code. Did I write this code? Did I write this code? No, I just dragged and dropped it, and Android Studio automatically wrote it for me. Fine. So let's make the size of our text view a little bigger. Fine. So I'll write it. Text size. I'll make it to, let's say, 16 dp. This time I'll add a text color. Text color. I'll maybe make it to, is it a red? Red is not available. So text color, I would like to make it to, let's say, teal. Yeah, this will be good. Teal 700. So can you see the change in the color? Let's make it even bigger. Let's make our crush's name 24 dp. Right. I think this is now more clear. Let's do the same thing again. Let's do the same thing again. Let's run our app. Let's run our application using the emulator and see what change has happened. Are you people enjoying this session?
Yes, obviously.
Great. Then.
Guys,
so
I have shared the attendance link. There's a place for feedback. Please share your feedback there.
Yes, please share your feedback. Whatever feedback you want to share, we'll try to kind of accommodate that thing from the next session if you want anything else. So here you can see the thing has opened. The color is now changed. So if I write my crush's name over here, name, and then click on this button. Did you see what happened? And did the same thing happen for you people who are following? Is it nice? Is it interesting? You have created your own application that actually runs. You have created your own application. So this is your first application, and I'm going to end this session over here. I hope it.
The code again for the.
Yes. Okay, fine. For those of you who didn't understand, I'll just repeat the code, what exactly was happening underneath the hood. So in every activity, there is a method called the set content view, which actually tells this activity that चलो तुम्हारे साथ कौन सा व्यू जो है, कौन सा लेआउट जो है वो तुम्हारे साथ अटैच्ड है. सो इसके साथ कौन सा लेआउट अटैच्ड है? एक्टिविटी में. और ये कहाँ पे स्टोर्ड है? ये R फोल्डर में स्टोर्ड है. R एक रिसोर्स का फोल्डर है एंड्रॉइड में. दिस इज अ फोल्डर इन एंड्रॉइड, एंड उसके अंदर एक सब फोल्डर है जिसको बोलते हैं लेआउट, और उसके अंदर में ये चीज डिफाइंड एक्टिविटी में. ऐसे करके समझो, ठीक है. आर में सब कुछ है, सारा रिसोर्स है. उसके अंदर से हम लोग लेआउट वाले कमरे में गए. उस कमरे के अंदर हम लोग एक्टिविटी मेन नाम के इंसान को उठा के यहाँ पे डाल दें. नेक्स्ट क्या है, हम लोग आर बिल्डिंग में गए, आईडी नाम के रूम में गए, एंड वहां से क्रश नेम एडिट टेक्स्ट वाले इंसान को उठा के इसमें डाल दिए. अब ये क्रश नेम एडिट टेक्स्ट क्या है? ये एक एडिट टेक्स्ट है. तो फाइंड व्यू बाय आईडी को बताना पड़ेगा कि भाई जो आईडी तुम्हें खोजना है वो एडिट टेक्स्ट होगा. ठीक है, तो एडिट टेक्स्ट है. The next thing is find view by ID. This time the person name is crush name text to you. So we tell the find view by ID method that guy, the thing that you're gonna find is a text view. Now submit button.
Hello Shagil.
Yeah.
Can you explain what do you mean by find view by ID?
Yeah, what is find view by ID? It's actually a function. It's a function that finds our view. And what are views? I've already told that these small things, everything that is visible is a view. Now this will help our application, this function will help our application to find that view by this ID. And what is the ID? This one is the ID. r.id.curshname.edit.text, r.id.button, r.id.anything that you want to. Is that clear, Priyansh? Is that clear? You can unmute if you still have any doubt. Yes, clear, fine. So yeah, just like HTML, we have IDs. Yeah, in the document we have document dot find get element by ID, and the similar kind of find view by ID. So here we have this thing. So this part is clear. Now the event part. On submit button, mind you, on submit button, I have added a click listener. Now what this click listener will do, whenever submit is clicked, our application will come to know that yes, this has been clicked, this view has been clicked, and what action I have to perform. The action that it has to perform is crush name text view dot text, means the text in the crush name text view should be now set to crush name edit text dot toString. Means crush name edit text, this edit text. Can you see this edit text where I've written crush name? From there, whatever I have written, you copy that thing, convert it to a string. Mind you, convert it to a string.
Shagil, I think you are muted.
Sorry. Now is the thing clear to everyone who had the doubt? Or shall I repeat something else? That on the submit button, when you click, this particular action will happen. What is the action? From the crush name edit text dot text, we will copy this text. We will copy this text, convert it to a string, and set it over here. How did you change the color? See, in the activity main.xml file, we go to this view, fine, this view, and over here, I have added a property, an attribute called text color, and set it to teal 700. It's a color provided by default from Android, and you can see the color on your screen on the IDE. Yes, that thing is default. That underline thing is default. That is the widget. Yes, it worked. Sambit says it worked. What about the others?
I've written the code, just the emulator thing is not working.
Okay, we'll discuss about that thing later. Fine, Vidhi. Is that okay, Vidhi? Just after this session. Yes, we can add any color of our choice, and we'll see how to do that. What is the work of val variable? Basically, in C++ or any other programming language, we have a data type called the int, string, boolean. So if we don't want to specify any data type, then we write val. Then we write val in Kotlin. Fine. Okay, so I think if that is okay, we can wrap up the session here. XML code, you will get this code. I'll post it like with the YouTube video. I'll share it with the team, the GitHub repo of this project. Okay, so you can get the entire code and run it in your emulator.
Guys, all of you, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will upload all the
Please
recordings
subscribe
there.
to our YouTube channel.
And all the code will be provided in the GitHub. The link will be there in the description box, so you can get access to everything you want. All right.
Can you please
Also,
share the YouTube ID?
Yeah. We will share. Also, follow our social platforms to be get updated every time.
Okay, so I think we are ending it
GDSC-IEM,
here.
right?
Yeah, right. So we are ending here. So just a snapshot of the entire session. If everybody wants to open their cameras, they can open it now, and we'll take just a photo of that. I'll first stop sharing the screen. I'll just one thing.
Bhaiya, one of the students is asking your contact number in case of doubt.
Yeah, you can have my contact number. I'll just post it for everyone in the chat box.
Chaita?
Yeah. So, Anna, you can just take a snapshot of the entire session. Everyone who's present.
I am taking Shagil.
Yeah, any.
It was very nice interacting with you guys. I hope you guys, all of you have enjoyed the session, today's session.
Yeah.
Please give feedback.
I hope to see you on the 24th.
Yes.
Till then, you have any doubt?
Attend the 24th session.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And from 24th, we'll be having some another, like we'll learn many new things, like how to create multi-activity applications, like moving from one activity to the other, how to use Jetpack Compose, how to create animations, and how to use, how to make network calls. Yeah, using APIs. So we'll consider about application programming interface. We'll talk about that. We will talk about the database that is there in our application, which we have not used yet. We'll talk about all these things in the upcoming sessions. So please attend the next sessions and also inform your friends about this session so that we can have a great community session in IEM. Thanks a lot, guys. You may leave if you want.
Thank you, guys.
I think we can.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for attending the workshop. শাকিল মিটিং এন্ড করে দিচ্ছি তাহলে।
हाँ मैंने
Done.
रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ करके मीटिंग एंड कर दो,
ठीक।
चेक कर लो एक बार सही से हो गया कि नहीं।
ओके ओके
Wonderful session, भैया.
थैंक यू।